Okay. The mechanical alignment. So because we are aiming for the very, very stable, mechanical stable form. This is a single goal. So that's the mechanical alignment. But now we recognize the patient characteristic variation among the patient. So because leg is not straight, so joint line is not perpendicular to the joint mechanical axis, and gap is not parallel, especially in the flexion, and extension gap and flexion gap is not always same. Flexion gap is a little bit looser than the extension gap. Because the full extension, leg is very, very still like this. But the slight flexion, it comes a little bit loose. In a deep flexion, it's more loose, I think. But this is a variation. But this is anyway, so that is the ideal form. So anyone understands why this is the ideal. So how to get this? There are two ways. Not that this is better and the other side is the worse. It's not matter. There are the two philosophies. But basically, what type knee do you make using the articular joint? One way is to, how can I say, reproduce or resurface using the component. Only make the same joint line using the component. Make the same articular surface using the component. This is a so-called anatomical approach. That is originated from UK. In the early stage of the total arthroplasty, there are two ways of total knee arthroplasty. One is the hinge joint, where the joint is considered as the hinge. But as you know, the knee joint is not a true hinge because it can slide anteriorly, posteriorly, so-called roll-back motion, and rotate, so-called medial pivot motion. So if we implant the hinge joint, the true hinge joint, into the human knee, so that can make the conflict. Now, because they want to rotate, but the hinge joint not allow the rotation. So after the several years, such kind of hinge joint makes a loosening, made a loosening. So now, revolution to the rotational hinge joint or partial hinge joint, so-called command post, or deep dish type, so-called ultra congruent or cruciate satisfying deep dish type. So one is this is one way to how to reconstruct that human knee. Another way is resurfacing. That is originated from the UKA or by UK. Then, so by UK is very, very technical, demanding, and it's very difficult to do. So they combine medial side and the lateral side. That is called as total condylar. Total condylar type knee. So, anyway, so I will show you the latest of the photo. The one, the bilateral UKA, then join with the bar, then make the one piece, the revolution like this. Anyways, so that is the base. This base is the UKA, then by UK, or so only the resurfacing to make the same. Because this policy is once we reconstruct or reproduce the joint articular surface using the articular joint, so this prosthesis. So knee will work very well as previously. The patient was the very healthy. Anyway, there is a completely difference. There is no, so what, which is better, which is worse. So this is only the difference of the surgeon and the philosophy. So many surgeons who want to resurface the knee, then reconstruct or restore the patient knee function. The surgeon want to use the CR. This approach is so-called anatomical approach. So anatomical, so resurfacing or anatomical reproduction. That is the aim of the knee arthroplasty. This is the anatomical approach. Another one is that they originate from the hinge joint to the PS. So that is the functional approach. So historically, there are two approaches. One is the anatomical approach, another is functional approach. So functional approach now, revolution to the PS. Now, sacrifice the PS and make the new joint. That imagine. So another one, the anatomical approach is a resurface, or so refine the new joint. So, how can I reproduce the patient normally? That is the completely different policy. So, anyway, so this is a major resection. Major resection and anatomical approach, CR use. This is a similar policy. Another one is PS and the functional approach and PCL sacrifice is another approach. There are two ways. So far, many surgeons want to use the gap balancing. The gap balancing makes the functional approach and the PS approach. It's because many Japanese surgeons want to evaluate the gap. Anyway, so this is a major resection. Is policy is very simple. Cut the bone at the same thickness as the component thickness. Now you can easily understand this procedure because you are very familiar to the kinematic alignment of the aspiracy. So using the kinematic alignment is quite simple because in both condyle, both medius and the lateral condyle cut the bone in the same thickness. But if you try to this one on the mechanical alignment, in the mechanical alignment, there are some contradiction. Because only the one condyle we can cut in the same thickness. Because very, very simple. This side, this femur. If we cut the same thickness as the lateral side, medial side should be thicker because joint line is not perpendicular to the mechanical axis. If I cut the medial side in the same thickness as the components, the lateral side should be thinner. Do you understand? Very, very simple. So in the posterior corner is same. So yesterday I made a cut in the mechanical, using the mechanical alignment that I adjusted the 3 degrees in external rotated. As a result, so medial side should be thicker than the lateral posterior condyle. But basic theory is cut the same thickness. Maybe we can do only the one condyle. Other one is cut the bone thicker or thinner than the component. Anyway, so this major resection, true major resection cannot be done by the mechanical alignment. Only the kinematic alignment can do the true major resection, I think. Okay. Do you understand? Okay. What's the gap technique? Gap technique, the goal is make the parallel and same gap in the extension and the flexion. So that is made. The true gap technique is this one. Cut the tibia first, then make the base of the gap. The gap of base of gap is tibial side. And then cut the posterior, then cut the extensor. This procedure is completely same as the Oxford. Okay, cut the tibia and then cut the posterior and cut the distal. Then we can make the square and the extension, square and the same flexion the extension. But like Oxford knee, if you apply this procedure, alignment is not considered in this procedure. So if you cut this like this, many patients have to fail us on the right route concept. So then the most popular one is the modified gap technique. Okay, I will explain tomorrow. That's all. ありがとうございます。お分かりでしょうか？まあ、ここのところを見ていただいたら、まあ、なんでその後に、また今、キネマティックとかっていうのが出てきたかっていうのが、